Alright, so today we are going to look at how to solve radical equations. How to solve radical equations. Equations that have the radical sign like this, and then that one, and some other few examples. Alright, so assuming you have an equation like this and you want to solve, the only thing you have to do is to do away with the radical sign or undo the radical sign. Okay, and to do that you have to do the reverse of a square root. Okay, and by squaring both sides of the equal to sign, or by squaring both sides. So if I square it like this, the 2 over here will cancel the square root, and then you are left with 2x plus 6, which is equal to 4 squared is what? 16. Alright, so we solve for x. We have 2x is equal to 16. When the 6 moves here, it becomes minus 6. And you have 2x is equal to 16 minus 6 is what? 10. We are looking for x, so we divide both sides by 2. Then this one cancels this. Then 2 go here 1, 2 go here what? 5. So x is equal to what? 5. See, when you get your answer like this, you have to check. So the original equation was the original equation is 2x, the square root of 2x plus 6 is equal to 4. Let's check whether this identity is true. And we are saying the value of x is what? 5. So in place of x, we are going to put what? 5. So we have the square root of 2. The square root of 2. In place of x, we put what? 5. Plus 6 is equal to 4. In fact, we are checking to see whether it's equal to, okay, all right. So the square, we have the square root of 2 times 5 is what? 10 plus 6 is 16. Would this one be equal to 4? That's the quotient. Would it be equal to 4? And then 16 is a squared number, and so square root of 16 is the same as what? 4, which is equal to what? 4. Therefore the value of x is what? 5. All right, let's look at the second example. We have the square root of 5x plus 6 minus 2 is equal to what? X. The easiest way to go by this is to move the 2 here, okay, so that we keep the roots at one side and the terms without the roots at the other side. All right, so we have the square root of what? 5x plus 6 is equal to x. 1 negative 2 comes here, it becomes what? Positive 2. All right, from here we have to do away with the square root, or undo the square root, by squaring both sides of the equal to sign. We are squaring both sides, not terms. Good. So that the square will cancel the square roots, and then we are left with 5x plus 6 is equal to, when you come here, we have if you have something like a squared, this is the same as a times what? A. If you have something like 2 squared, this is the same as 2 times 2. If you have, let's say, 5 squared, is the same as what? 5 times what? 5. All right, so the same way we have x plus 2 all squared. So this is the same as x plus 2, x plus 2. Okay, all right, so we have to multiply or expand that bracket. All right, so the left hand side is 5x plus 6. When you come here, we have to FOIL or use the distributive property. I'm going to FOIL. So the first terms in each of the brackets will multiply the first terms. So x times x will give us what? X squared. And then the outside terms will multiply. X times 2 will be what? 2x. Inside terms multiply. 2 times x, 2x. And then what? 2 times 2 will be what? 4. All right. So I have 5x plus 6 is equal to x squared. 2x plus 2x will be what? 4x plus what? 4. Okay, all right. Now we have to group so that we can simplify. So now subtract 5x from both sides, so minus 5x minus 5x, and then minus 6 minus 6. Okay, so 5x minus 5x is 0, 6x minus 6x is 0. So actually we have eventually we have 0 over here. This is equal to x squared plus 4x minus 5x, okay, plus 4 minus 6, x squared plus 4x minus 5x plus 4 minus 6. All right, so this one is equal to x squared plus 4x minus 5x would actually be minus x, and then plus 4 minus 6 would actually be what? Negative 2. We can rewrite this one as x squared minus x minus 2 is equal to 0. We can actually skip some of these steps. So now we have a quadratic trinomial which we have to solve. So just have two brackets is equal to 0, x, x. This is actually simple. The only thing you have to do is that you're going to look for the factors of negative 2. That when you add or subtract, you're going to get what? Negative 1. Let's see what I mean. So we have negative 2. The factors of negative 2, we have 1 and then what? Negative 2. Or we can have negative 1 and what? 2. Alright, so let's pick this one and see whether if we add or subtract, we are going to get negative 1, which is the coefficient of this x. 1 plus negative 2. Will it give you negative 1? Yes. So actually you're going to work with these two factors. So the only thing you have to do is that put negative 2 and positive 1 over here. It doesn't matter. You can decide to bring plus 1 here, minus 2 here. Actually, if you expand this, you get back this equation. Okay. Alright, so we have x minus 2 is equal to 0, and then x plus 1 is equal to 0. And then x will be equal to what? 2 in this case, and then x is equal to what? Negative 1. So now we have two values for x. We have to check by substituting these values into the original equation to see which one satisfies the identity. Let's first check s is equal to 2. So the original equation was the square root of 5x plus 6 minus 2 is equal to x. So wherever we find x, we are going to put what? 2. So square root of 5 times 2 plus 6 minus 2 is equal to x. So we have to put what? 2. Okay. So the square root of, we have the square root of 5 times 2 is 10 plus 6 is what? 16 minus 2 is equal to 2. 16 is a squared number, and the square root of 16 is the same as what? 4. Minus 2 is what? Is equal to 2. 4 minus 2 is equal to 2, and certainly is equal to what? 2. So s is equal to 2 is a solution. Let's check for s is equal to negative 1. The square root of 5 times negative 1 plus 6 minus 2 is equal to negative 1. So we have 5 times negative 1 is negative 5 plus 6 will give me what? 1 minus 2 is equal to what? Negative 1. And the square root of 1 is 1 minus 2 is equal to what? Negative 1. 1 minus 2 is what? Negative 1. Okay, 1 minus 2 is negative 1. Is equal to what? Negative 1. And this is also true. So x is equal to negative 1 is also a solution. So therefore we conclude that s is equal to negative 1 or what? 2. Alright, let's look at another example. Assuming we have the square root of 4x plus 5 minus square root of x plus 4 is equal to 2. The easiest way to go about this is to move one of the square root signs to the other side. Okay, so let's keep this one here. 4x plus 5 is equal to 2, and then move this one to the other side, plus the square root of x plus 4. Okay, alright, so now we do away with the square root sign. Okay, so we have to square both sides of the equal to sign. Take note, we are squaring both sides, not each term. Okay, alright, so the 2 will cancel the square roots, and we are left with what? 4x plus 5 is equal to, so we have this is a perfect square, so we have 2 plus root x plus 4 and 2 plus root x plus what? 4. And this is 4x plus 5 is equal to, over here we FOIL or apply the distributive property. So 2 times 2 will give us what? 4. And then 2 times the square root of x plus 4 will be what? 2 root x plus 4. And then root x plus 4 times 2 will be what? 2 root x plus 4. And then root x plus 4 times root x plus 4 will be what? X plus what? 4. Okay. Alright. So now let's simplify. So we have 4x plus 5. And then we have 4 plus, you see, we have 2 root x plus 4 plus 2 root x plus 4. So we are going to have 4 root x plus 4 plus x plus what? 4. Okay, let's simplify further. So we have 4x plus 5 is equal to 4 plus 4 will be what? 8 plus x plus what? 4 root x plus 4. All right, so now we still have a square root, or we still have the root in our equation, so we have to do away with that root as well. Yeah, but first let's move this one to the other side, so that we'll have 4x minus x. Okay, this is positive here. When you cross, it becomes negative, plus 5, and this is also positive. When you cross, it becomes what? Negative. Okay, so we move this one here, and then this one here too. It's equal to 4 root x plus what? 4. Okay, all right, so let's simplify. We are having 4x minus x will be what? 3x, and then 5 minus 8 will be what? Negative 3. This is equal to 4 root x plus what? 4. All right, so we have to do away with the square root, or we have to undo the square root once again. So we have to square both sides. So we square this side and then square this side as well. So over here we are having a perfect squared, 3x minus 3, 3x minus what? 3. This is equal to 4 squared is what? 16. And then we have root x plus 4 squared will be what? X plus what? 4. Okay, 4 squared is 16. The 4 will take the squared, and then what? Root x plus 4 will also take the squared. And so 4 squared is 16, and then root x plus 4 squared, the square will cancel the root. Okay, the square will cancel the root, and we are left with what? X plus 4. All right, so when you come to this side to 3x times 3x will give us what? 9x squared. Okay, 9x squared. And then 3x times negative 3 will give us what? Negative 9x. Negative 3 times 3x will give us what? Negative 9x. And negative 3 times negative 3 will give us what? Positive 9. So we have this is equal to 16 times x. So we have 16x plus 16 times 4 will give us what? 64. Okay, all right, so let's simplify. We have 9x squared. Negative 9x minus 9x will give us what? Negative 18x plus 9 equal to 16x plus what? 64. All right, so now we have 9x squared minus 18x. Let's move the 16x here. So we have 16, positive 16x. If we cross the equal to sign, it becomes what? Minus 16x plus 9. Positive 64. If we cross the equal to sign, it becomes what? Minus 64. Okay, this is equal to 0. All right, so then we are having 9x squared negative 18x minus 16x will give us what? Negative 34x. Okay, and then 9 minus 64 will simplify to what? Negative 55. Okay, this is equal to 0. And so now we have quadratic which we have to solve. So we have two brackets equal to 0. Put your 9x here. Watch out for my video on how to solve quadratic equations. So what we have to do is that you have to multiply 9 by what? Negative 55. So if you multiply 9 times negative 55, you are getting negative 495. You can check that with your calculator. So we are going to look for the factors of negative 495. That when you add or subtract, you are going to get what? Negative 34. Okay, negative 34. Some of the factors you can mention 5 times negative 99. Okay, it's a factor. But if you add or subtract, will you get negative 34? Negative 34? No, you can never get negative 34. Okay, let's think of, you can have 55 times 9, negative 9. Okay, these are also factors of negative 495. But if you add these two, will you get negative 34? No. All right, so let's think of a different factor. 45 times what? 11, negative. Okay, negative 45 times 11. These are also factors of negative 495. Actually, when you multiply, you get negative 495. And yes, if you add these two, you're going to get what? Negative 34. So you're just going to place minus 45 plus what? 11. If you expand this and you reduce it, you're going to get that. Okay, so now we have 9x minus 45 is equal to 0, and then 9x plus 11 is equal to 0. We have 9x is equal to 45, and then 9x is equal to negative 11, which is giving us, now we are looking for x over here, so over 9 over 9, x is equal to 45 over 9 is what? 5, and then over 9 over 9, this one will cancel this, so x is equal to negative what? 11 over 9. So these are the two values we are getting for x. Okay, so we have to check from the original equation and see which of them satisfy the equation. The original equation is the square root of what? 4x minus 5, no, plus 5 minus the square root of x plus 4 is equal to 2. So the first value we had for x is what? 5. So wherever we find x, we are going to put what? 5 over there. So now we have the square root of 4 times 5 plus 5 minus the square root of 5 plus 4. Will it be equal to 2? Is that going to be equal to 2? Alright. So we have the square root of 4 times 5 is what? Let me change this. 4 times 5 is what? 20 plus 5 is what? 25 minus the square root of 5 plus 4 is what? 9. Would that be equal to 2? Okay. The square root of 25 is what? 5. Minus the square root of 9 is what? 3. Is that equal to 2? And so we have 5 minus 3, which is equal to 2, and that is truly equal to 2. So x is equal to 5 is a solution. Let's check for the other value of x. So whatever we find x, we are going to put negative 11 over 9 over there and simplify and see whether that's going to give us what? 2. So we have the square root of 4 times negative 11 over 9, okay, plus 5 minus the square root of, over here too we have negative 11 over 9 plus what? 4. Okay, would that be equal to 2? Alright, so we have the square root of 4 times negative 11 over 9 will give us negative 44 over what? 9 plus 5 minus, let's come to the side 2, We have the square root of negative 11 over 9 plus 4. This one will be equal to 25 over 9. Would that be equal to 2? Now when you come here, we have negative 44 over 9 plus 5. This one is equal to 1 over 9 minus, you can actually check this with your calculator, the square root of 25 over 9. The square root of 25 is 5. The square root of 9 is what? 3. When you subtract this, will it be equal to 2? Good. A square root of 1 over 9. The square root of 1 is 1. The square root of 9 is what? 3. So you have 1 over 3 minus 5 over 3. Would this be equal to 2? When you subtract 5 over 3 from 1 over 3, you are getting what? Negative 4 over what? 3. And this one is not equal to what? 2. Okay? So this is not true. Therefore, this is not a solution. Okay? Therefore, we conclude that x is equal to 5 is what? The solution. This is actually an extraneous solution. X is equal to negative 11 over 9. It's not a solution. That is what we call an extraneous solution. And that is not a solution. So the solution is only what? X is equal to 5. Thanks for watching.